I've been a gamer all my life. It's probably one of the only things I've ever truly been consistent at. I started with Pokemon on Game Boy, graduated to PlayStation, Xbox, and finally PC Master Race Gaming, with special interests on RuneScape, World of Warcraft, and League of Legends. The trifecta of doom. But the weird thing is, if I think back on my favorite gaming moments and, the ones that mean the most to me, for the story, it's The Witcher 3. 96 hours played. My most proud gaming achievement, running a marathon in Skyrim. 43 hours played. My favorite co-op gaming experience is probably Baldur's Gate 3 with 78 hours, followed very closely by Scramble Mode and Golf Plus in VR. But to be honest, I've probably only played about 20 hours of that so far. Now, to a non-gamer, this might look like a lot of time, but if we zoom out a little bit, across my Druid, Lock, and Warrior in World of Warcraft, it's 188 not hours, but days of playtime. My old school RuneScape account, sitting at 155 days. And with League of Legends, I'm still not sure if this counts TFT, but it's 134 days. If it doesn't count TFT, then it would be way more. But isn't it weird that all of my best gaming memories come from games that I have almost 50 times less playtime? And now that I'm 33 and I've learned a little bit more about myself and my little ADHD brain, I know that I have a serious problem when it comes to MMOs and MOBAs. The way these games are designed perfectly lock into my reward structure, my interests, and keep me hyperfixated in an almost flow-like state for days, months, or even sometimes years at a time. World of Warcraft. 2 weeks ago, I resubscribed to WoW after almost 3 years off. A number of my friends had sent me this, Grayson playing WoW with motion capture. And as a dude that loves WoW and loves gamified fitness, this just seemed right up my alley. And I actually planned on this video being titled something like World of Warcraft, but it's a fitness game, testing, the limits of pushing World of Warcraft. For those of you that don't know, this is a really cool piece of software. Essentially, it uses your webcam to detect body positions and turns that into key inputs, essentially allowing you to play any flat screen game without a mouse controller or keyboard. So I started with a hunter, and when I pulled a bow, it actually caused steady shot to cast. And you can really see how happy I am. It truly was. After that, I tried a warrior and had the ability to charge in and then start spamming some uppercuts, which caused my rotation. Then I went to a Muay Thai class in real life. I kicked the bag wrong, hurt my foot. That night, I sat down at my desk and leveled my warrior to max with a mouse and keyboard. Fuck me. I was so back. Now, World of Warcraft is such a time sink, not only in the gameplay, but also learning all the new systems. I had to watch 4 videos from Signs of Kalani about the different gearing systems. The Sparks of Fortune, 3 PvP currency, some dust that converts gear to tier sets, doing level 8 delves for the fucking weekly vault, 11s for the Gilded Crest. Like, what's going on, dude? This is more than a job. And after a week, my foot had healed and it was time to start getting back into motion capture, but felt clunky, like I just started getting into ranked PvP, and let's be real, you kind of need to be on your mouse and keyboard to be competitive there. And because of this, I spent another week locked in. This turned into 2. And now after 2.5 weeks of a WoW bender, I'm sort of waking up from this post-nut MMO clarity, if you will. On one hand, I should probably give myself a little bit of credit, I've created this life where I can just fully immerse myself in a passion or interest for a couple of weeks, and that's really, really lucky. And I also managed to get myself out in just 2.5 weeks. If this happened 5 years ago, I could have been stuck there for months or even a whole year. But on the other hand, I'm a little bit disappointed in myself. Because this isn't news to me. I've written this down before. I've been down this road lots of times. I know the activities that empower me and the activities that I do that I feel like crap afterwards. How am I back? Why am I back? Let's talk about RuneScape. Now, I started playing this one when I was 11. And oh my god, what a time. I could never quite convince my mum to buy membership, so I was limited to free-to-play world and spent most of my time mining iron and coal, saving up for full rune, or even setting up death dots on my mage pure and orchestrating betrayals in the wilderness. I think back then, like, I just had a laptop, so this was always front and center on my primary screen. Now with old school RuneScape, it's a bit of a different story, because I was older, I had a job, and this became a second monster game for me. Just chasing a little bit of nostalgia on the side. Now sure, obviously I've progressed my account quite far and I've spent some time in the wilderness, questing, doing a bit of PVM, but I would say about 80% of this time, it's been on the second monitor. And while that might sound like a bit of cope or justification that it's not as bad as it really looks, it's really not, because I absolutely suck at multitasking. Now during COVID, I had RuneScape running for almost 2 years, it sort of helped pass the time. And I'll give you an example. Writing this script will probably take me 4 to 6 hours over a couple of days, but if I had RuneScape on the side and I was chopping trees, even redwoods, which are the most forgiving, I think it's about 5 minutes you have to click. Every 5 minutes I would have to completely break my train of thought, look over, click on a tree, and then come back to where I was. And maybe doing something like that is okay when I was working a job I didn't care about or, at school. But now that I'm trying to create something or something that I'm actually interested in, willingly signing up for this sort of distraction is just insanity. Not to mention it opens up the rabbit hole of RuneScape Wiki. Maybe I see some guy next to me with a two-handed axe and I quickly look up and I find it comes from the forestry update. Now, to do this, you need to do a quick mini quest, but then you need to hop to a forestry world. But to be there, you have to click on these trees that only last for a minute, and then every now and then these fucking rabbits or pheasants or something spawn that you have to chase and click on. And that script that I was working on is now buried in a sea of wiki tabs. I'm ashamed to say a lot of my projects that I start never get finished because of situations exactly like this. In fact, I actually started this channel almost 6 years ago. And I think now, how much better I would be at making videos if I just turned RuneScape off an hour, 2 hours a week during COVID. League of Legends. Now I picked up League of Legends in university with season 2, and that was about, 12 or 13 years ago, and oh my god, what a game. We lived in a flat with 5 dudes and would all sit together in the lounge, hunched over our laptops with textbook as our mouse pads, and to be fair, this is a very, very fond memory. Fast forward to today, and this is still one that I actually quite enjoy being in my life. Not Summoner's Rift, I'm way too old for that shit, but jumping in ARAM with the boys on Discord or grinding out some TFT double up games is just like my version of a social sport, a group chat, or a board game night. And I think what's the coolest thing about this is these were the same guys that we were together almost 12 years ago. Geez, time really is fleeting. But my biggest trap here is solo ranked TFT. So I've got this notebook that I keep, it's mostly just filled with daily tasks that I have to get done. And about a month ago, I wrote myself a note. It says, "Stop solo queue TFT. It makes you feel bad. Play VR boxing, make content, stop TFT." I mean, that was past Liam. What the fuck does he know? But really, past Liam is right. I'd have just as much fun playing a ranked Thrill of the Fight 2 match, and afterwards I know I'd feel way better, even be a little bit sweaty. But why is it so much easier for me to hit that fine match on the League client? And these are questions that I'm still working on. Now, I'm not an idiot. I know that you can never really quit RuneScape or World of Warcraft, and I'm sure I'll be back in the future. Heck, if Riot ever makes their MMO, I'll be wasting a few months there as well. But when I do come back, I want to watch this video through and remember that my real life goals are more important than an MMO goal. And I don't mean to be condescending here. I'm not your dad. If you want to play an MMO, play an MMO. I'm talking to myself right now. Liam, don't do it, man. You know it's not worth it. But if you are going to play an MMO, make sure you do this checklist. Work out before you log in each day. Having a workout routine literally changed my life, and it just sets you up for so much better choices. Have a log off timer? Log off at 11 PM. Otherwise, I know I'll just go later and later into the night and fuck up my sleep schedule. And play with someone. MMOs are multiplayer games, so play with a friend. And Make it a rule that you can never play by yourself for more than an hour or one match a day. Otherwise, log off and go play a single player game or a VR fitness game. There's no need to play efficiently. It's so weird, but in every single player game, even Baldur's Gate, I play through almost blind, without a guide, and just make decisions on what sounds fun. But with MMOs, I obsess on build paths, gearings, rotation, and learning from someone else how to play. And finally, don't put RuneScape on your second monitor. Play for an hour or so on your primary monitor. If you get bored, close it and move your entire attention into something else. In my last cycle of RuneScape, I bought just one bond, so I only had 2 weeks of game time, and I played it with my headset and had a great time in LMS. I got my first ever corrupted gauntlet KC, and I even turned it into a workout and made a video of it. A couple 100k woodcutting XP a day is not worth being distracted the entire day. Now I need to add one section that it's not all doom and gloom, and I by no means regret being a gamer. I've met awesome people online that turn into real life friendship. It's also helped me stay close to the people that matter. And a lot of the systems that are used in these games help me make sense of the world, learn about myself, and enable me to gamify things like forming an exercise habit. And that path led me to creating this gamified fitness channel. And it's now my job to play and talk about games that actually make me feel good, which is insane. So yeah, thanks for watching this video. Have fun out there, and I'll see you next time.